Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. As I said, I have been at college all day today, so I haven't had time to come on a live stream. But I am currently on one now. As I said, before I get into the details of this, drop your comments below. There'll be more videos coming up soon as well. And if you do consider subscribe to the channel, as I said, reportedly it's coming out in the press. I think I updated you about this scenario the other day about reportedly. He's up for sale now, reportedly, according to the Prestige. 20-year-old Christian Pulisic. Reportedly, Borussia Dortmund are demanding that they want around £70 million for the player. So reportedly, it says Borussia Dortmund are willing to do business as long as Chelsea or Liverpool are willing to meet the £70 million they are demanding for the player. But accordingly, he has a deal to 2020. Reportedly, Borussia Dortmund have been potentially in talks of securing him a new deal. Reportedly, the talks have not been successful on the current players. He is 20 years of age. He can play as an attacking midfielder. He can play on the wing as well. Potentially, Chelsea, eye him up as a potential replacement for Eden Hazard, because obviously Eden Hazard's admitted he could potentially leave during next summer as well, as he updated you. But Pulisic has been in the senior squad with Borussia Dortmund since 2016. His performances have been absolutely phenomenal. In the reserve team, he only played 15 times. He got promoted into the senior team. But it has confirmed Borussia Dortmund want to keep him until the end of the season. But reportedly, they're not willing to do any business in the January transfer window. But reportedly, I think Chelsea have already been in potential discussions. But reportedly, Chelsea or Liverpool, can, potentially agree the fee in the January window, and then obviously the player officially signs for Chelsea or Liverpool at the end of the season. That is basically what Borussia Dortmund are suggesting now. So they're reluctant to get rid of him in January, but come next season, next summer, Borussia Dortmund are willing to do business as long as Chelsea and Liverpool are willing to meet the £70 million. As I said, and Sarri got about 3 or 4 players during the window. He also wants to strengthen up defensively. Potentially Liverpool are very, very good attackively as well, but potentially they're being interested in him. We know basically Klopp's got a good relationship with the player, because obviously Klopp, used to manage manage Borussia Dortmund, where he had a good pedigree, and he worked with Pulisic at Borussia Dortmund. Potentially we know as well the player is American, and obviously owners are American as well, as we all know. But reportedly Klopp has been interested in the play. Klopp's spent just under £400 million in 6 transfer windows with Liverpool. Since he's potentially being Liverpool coach. So reportedly, if it says Chelsea are preparing to put £70 million in for him. This will be a club record fee for Chelsea if this deal does go through next summer. But yeah, he's only 20 years of age. He is a good young age prospect. He's proven himself in Germany fantastically well, but potentially it'd be good, for him to come and experience the Premier League, experience Premier League facilities, and come to experience a newer era, because he's established himself well in German football as Christian Pulisic. As I said, he's in the ranks well. I think from the player's perspective, he's keen on coming to the Premier League as well, and his performances have been absolutely fantastic. So Chelsea and Liverpool have been closely monitoring an interest in the player. But reportedly, I think Chelsea are going to go along this. I think Chelsea are more in desperate need for him than Liverpool, because potentially we know Chelsea, obviously, Eden Hazard could leave next summer. Eden Hazard come in the press yesterday. He won a couple of media. So reportedly he said he could leave Chelsea next summer. Eden Hazard. He's currently refused to sign a new deal with Chelsea as the player. All in all, in the Premier League, he has made 220 appearances. He has scored 76 goals in the Premier League. Eden Hazard is good. He can play as an attacking mid. He can also play out wide as well, and he's also had great experience, in France in the past with Lille as well as Eden Hazard. But potentially stalling on a new Chelsea deal. He didn't say he guarantees he's going next summer. He said he could potentially make a transfer next summer and Eden Hazard. But he's good in the air. He's creative. His pace is unbelievable. His close ball control is very, very good. He's very, very creative. He's a good, fantastic, prolific goal scorer. As he's proven with Chelsea. And Chelsea know how much of a potential player he is for them. But potentially, Chelsea are eyeing out Pulisic, obviously. as a potential replacement for Eden Hazard. So Chelsea are identifying Pulisic as a good replacement for Eden Hazard. So if Eden Hazard leaves in the summer, potentially, Pulisic would replace him at Chelsea, because Pulisic can play on the left, as I said, as a winger. He can play, in the middle as well, just basically like Eden Hazard can do. But potentially, yeah, Eden Hazard, it has confirmed that reportedly he has been in discussions with Paris Saint-Germain in the past. It said Paris Saint-Germain were interested in him, reportedly, but potentially, according to Eden Hazard, he dispelled the myth and basically said he has ruled himself out of making to Paris Saint-Germain, the player. It's also said, I think Madrid have been interested in Eden Hazard as well, but the player, won loads and loads of honours, during his Lille days, he risen up the ranks very, very well. He was in the academy for 2 years, made his professional debut at the age of 16, and then became a regular, with Lille, spending 5 years, he was a senior player for 5 years with Lille. He's made over 190 appearances, became more of a regular player. And, he won the double with Lille. Chelsea got him in 2012. So he has been in the Premier League now 6-7 years. He won the Europa League in his first season with Chelsea. He's won PFAs, Players of the Season. He's potentially, one of the best players, especially in the Premier League, where it's just absolutely phenomenal. He's, and he does have a good relationship with Mourinho. I love a player of that caliber, Manchester United, especially in my opinion. But yeah, Eden Hazard's experienced fantastic times with Chelsea. He's won Premier League a few times with them, FA Cup, Europa League and League Cup with them as well. And he's won so many awards himself as well as Eden Hazard, based on his fantastic performances. He's a world-class player. So potentially, according to the press, he could leave next summer, and the players admitted he could potentially leave next summer because there's no sign of him signing a new deal with Chelsea. So Chelsea are identifying Christian Pulisic as a suitable replacement for Eden Hazard. No, Liverpool are still linked to him, as I said, but Borussia Dortmund have confirmed, and the direct confirmed, will be staying until the end of the season at Dortmund, and they're not willing to do any business in this upcoming January transfer window as well. Potentially, that's the latest news about that, and potentially to update you on Manchester United versus his young boys tonight, 8 o'clock. We do win tonight. We do get qualification for the knockouts in February. I think it depends what Valencia do with Juventus. So if Valencia don't beat Juventus and Manchester United win tonight, we are in the knockout stages in February. But potentially Mourinho's had a few things to say. There's a few. He's reportedly going to get he's going to get tens of millions of pounds to spend in January. Potentially. I do want Jose Mourinho out of the club. There's pundits in that have talked about his tactical game plan. Gary Neville says Man United have been inconsistent, and Jose Mourinho struggles with his team selection, as we're all aware. Jose Mourinho missed out on a lot of potential targets, to be quite fair. He missed out on a lot of potential targets in Mourinho. His aim is to get a strong central defender in the team and an attacker in the team as well. We know he's had disputes, especially with the top players, since he's come to Manchester United as Jose Mourinho. Potentially that interview he gave, he's talking about lack of maturity, lack of character and lack of personality, and he was on about Lingard, Martial, Rashford and Shaw, Mourinho. And so I think it's wrong him publicly criticising players at this club. I think Mourinho's deserved the criticism that he has been getting as well. But potentially I think the board need to react. Reportedly the board are still backing him. Reportedly he wants the top four by the new year. There's Jose Mourinho, but as I said, I think he's just changed the whole identity of the club. I think the style of players changed. I think the managerial styles changed as well since he's become manager, because obviously the expectation levels would have been when he came to Old Trafford, considering the history of this club, we had 3 decades success with Alex Ferguson, and considering Mourinho's fantastic pedigree, the expectations would have been, to make us more of a competitive team again and make us win major honours, or at least compete for major honours, like we used to do under Alex Ferguson. And potentially, Ryan Giggs has potentially had a say on it. Ryan Giggs, obviously a fantastic Manchester United legend. He made over 600 odd appearances, scored 100 odd goals in the Premier League for us, won 13 Premier League titles with us, of course. He's backing Mourinho. He said about Mourinho, he said sacking him's not going to change anything at this moment in time. And Giggs said also, considering the success he's had for years, he has faith and he believes that Jose Mourinho can turn it around at Man United. Ferdinand obviously doesn't agree with comments of what he's been saying as well, and a lot of money's been spent. As I said, he spent just under £400 million on 11 players. He's obviously sanctioned 14 players off. Mourinho, we've got a lot of players, coming to the end of the deals at the club as well. So potentially for me, as I keep saying, he's linked with a lot of players. Is Jose Mourinho. I also said, regardless of who we're getting, I still want him out of the club. I think the strappings of the club's too high for him. Mourinho's come out today and he said he's frustrated with the players. He's basically trying to say the players don't listen to him. The players don't listen to his instructions according to Mourinho. So he is frustrated with the players. There's a lot of players unhappy here. Whilst Jose Mourinho's currently manager, we've won. The only thing I praised Mourinho for was getting us success in the Europa League in his first season. Getting us the League Cup, Community Shield if you want to count it, and getting us to the FA Cup final last season as well. But this season we've lost 4 out of 12, or is it 13 games? We're not scoring enough goals. We're conceding too many goals. And last season, we did a lot better. We were scoring more goals, keeping more clean sheets. But this season's totally, comparison to the previous 2 seasons we've had with Jose Mourinho. This is our worst season under Jose Mourinho since he's come. This is our worst season in absolutely donkey's years as well. But potentially, we was in a good run of form. After Newcastle, we was in a good run of form. But the performances were just not up to scratch. And potentially, Martial's been his best player this season without a doubt. His performances have been phenomenal. His performances have been phenomenal. He's coming to an end of his deal at Manchester United. He turned the previous contract offer down. He has been here since 2015. He is a good young age prospect, that does still need to grow and develop. And reportedly, it says Chelsea and Juventus were monitoring an interest in Anthony Martial as well. But I can't see him leaving Man United. But reportedly, Man United have been in discussion signing him a new deal. But as yet, the talks have reportedly not been successful of signing Anthony Martial this deal. As I said, and potentially, Lukaku's not in great form at the moment. He does have a good relationship with Jose Mourinho, does Romelu Lukaku, to be quite fair. Lukaku's come out on Sky Sports and he says he believes a lot in Jose Mourinho. He said he's potentially one of his Man United favourites. He's Jose Mourinho. From Lukaku's perspective, Lukaku said Jose Mourinho is one of his Man United favourites, and he has a good relationship with Lukaku. We know Lukaku, in his first season, he was fantastic. Last season, not so bad. But this season, he hasn't scored in 10, 11 games. We know he has suffered in a couple of injuries, obviously, during international break with Belgium and that as well. Potentially for me, we do need a backup option now for Romelu Lukaku. But he is prolific goal scorer, and he has been proven to be a prolific goal scorer as well. Potentially, we have been linked with a lot of players. As I said, we have been linked with a lot of players. Tonight, we've got young boys at Old Trafford. We beat the Champions League. We've won 2, drawn 1, and lost 1. Young boys sitting bottom of the group where, they've played 4, lost 3 and drawn 1, so they haven't won a game yet in the Champions League. Young boys, so potentially it should be an easy Manchester United win tonight. It has confirmed a bit of team news. Lindelof's out. Mourinho's confirmed that he's got a muscular problem. He suffered against Crystal Palace at the week. Did Jose Mourinho. He hasn't given an exact date when he will potentially recover from his injury. But Mourinho's hopeful that he will be back for the Christmas period. Because he has made an impact this season, because Mourinho's obviously been going with Lindelof and Smalling as a centre-back partnership this season, as we all know, mainly. But potentially now Lindelof's out, Mourinho could give Bailey the chance, who was obviously out of favour now at Man United. He can't even get into the team at the moment. But reportedly, he could be coming in to fulfil Lindelof's place at that centre back position, and I think he'll either be playing alongside Smalling or alongside Phil Jones with Eric Bailey. Reportedly, we know Doyle is still out with a knock injury as well. I think potentially at that right back, Valencia is currently not injured now, as it's confirmed. So potentially he may start a more central right back, or he may just put Ashley Young at right back. Obviously, put Ashley Young at left back during the weekend, due to Luke Shaw's suspension. But now obviously Luke Shaw's back, so potentially Mourinho, I presume, will be putting Luke Shaw at that left back position, back at the left back position, because he's been mainly playing in this season. Last season he didn't, Mourinho, because obviously he had disputes with Luke Shaw. And it confirmed Matteo Darmian, according to what I saw, also missed training as well. Darmian had missed training. It also said Darmian missed training, Rojo had missed training, and so too Lindelof, because Rojo's injured as well, according to what I saw. So we've got Rojo out, Lindelof out, and it also confirmed. It doesn't say about Darmian having an injury. It just confirmed the other day in the press. Yesterday, I think in the press that he'd missed training or something like that at Matteo Darmian, but potentially, played, in the Premier League at the weekend, the first time, since I think he played on the opening day against Leicester, did Matteo Darmian. So he will rotate a little bit at the back with Jose Mourinho. For me, I think he needs to give Fred the opportunity he paid £50 million for during the summer. He hasn't really given Fred the chance as Jose Mourinho, and he really should be giving Fred the chance, as I said. And he hasn't really given him the chance. He's had opportunities to play him or opportunities to bring him on, and just hasn't. I think for me, Mourinho needs to give Pereira the chance. He reportedly says Arsenal and Chelsea have been interested in Andres Pereira. He isn't really getting the opportunity. It also said in an article as well. About potentially Alexis Sanchez. It said reportedly Mourinho could be dropping him for tonight's game as well. Sanchez didn't start Palace. Sanchez didn't start the Man City game, but I think came on as a substitute. Sanchez, he's going to find it hard to get regular first team football. He's going to find it hard, to get games from the start. Obviously, with Martial and Rashford and that there, and obviously Sanchez isn't being in great potential form since he's come to the club. He hasn't really made an impact to play. He may play. He just said it in the press. And he, PSG could go for him in January or next summer. Alexis Sanchez, for me, I think he needs to leave. Does Alexis Sanchez, and I think he had 4 or 5 good years, with Arsenal under Wenger. He was good during his under-knees days and his Barcelona days, and he's on £500,000 a week. I think he scored 4 goals and he's provided a few assists. He's proven in the Premier League, but he has failed to establish himself well at Manchester United and under Jose Mourinho, and he isn't getting along with a lot of the teammates here, Sanchez. So we're lacking that final third. We're lacking up front. We need a goal scorer up front. We know Lukaku was proven for it, but obviously, when he's picked an injury up or when he's out of form, we need a backup option there. We need a prolific goal scorer, as I said, and Lukaku's just not doing it this season. I think Man United, we've got winnable games during the Christmas period, so there should be points there that Manchester United, should be picking up in reality, but we're not, and I just don't have any faith, in my opinion, that Mourinho can turn this around. There'll be Man United fans that still want Mourinho out if we, win majority of our games till Christmas. I'll still want him out, because considering the amount of money we spent, considering the size of this club, we're not in a position, that we should be, and we're not competing with the top teams. As we all know, and potentially, a team like Manchester United, should be doing that as well. We know we're now on the same level as Liverpool or Man City. They're scoring goals for fun. Defensively, absolutely fantastic City and Liverpool this season. So to Chelsea. Chelsea did lose at the weekend. They were dreadful. Tottenham played absolutely phenomenal against them at the weekend. We're 14 points from top, 12 behind second, and I think we're 7 points from top 4 as well. And basically, we have to potentially get top 4 this season. We have to basically get top 4 this season to get, obviously Champions League for next season as well. Our Mourinho's job's going to be under a serious threat, as we all know. But as I've said, the main part of this video is reportedly Chelsea preparing a £70 million bidding for Christian Pulisic. He is only age 20. He's only 20 years of age. He's established himself well with Borussia Dortmund, and he's got great experience now in Germany. So it would be good to come and experience, playing in English football. Reportedly, the press says they're willing to do the deal at Borussia Dortmund as long as it's next summer and as long as it's £70 million that Chelsea or Liverpool are preparing to pay. And I think, Chelsea will be preparing to pay this, obviously, especially if Eden Hazard leaves the club next summer. That could be looking likely, according to what he said. And obviously, he hasn't signed a new deal yet. But potentially Liverpool are also monitoring an interest in the player. Liverpool are as desperate as Chelsea for the player, but obviously Klopp has a good relationship with him. Klopp admires the player because Klopp used to work with him, obviously when Klopp was at Borussia Dortmund. And Chelsea are heavily linked to him as well. He's got a contract to 2020. There's been talks about him agreeing a new one, but the talks have not been successful. Borussia Dortmund are willing to cash in £70 million for a young player. That is a heck of a lot of money for a 20-year-old player, as I said, and that will be a record fee that Chelsea will have paid if it does go through. Obviously, do you think he'd lead the lines at Chelsea well, alongside Morata? Do you think he'd look good alongside Morata? And do you think he'd complement Chelsea's team fantastically well? Christian Pulisic, potentially, I think he really, really would. Do you think he'd look good, with Fabregas and all that, with the player? Chelsea have got some good players in that team. They have got some good players in that team. Do you think he'd look good alongside Morata, Giroud and all that? But yeah, Pulisic has proven himself fantastically well in, Germany with Borussia Dortmund, and I think the player, wants to come to the Premier League. So, as I said, so anyway, everything to do today. Man U Young Boys kicks off at 8 o'clock. We'll be doing I think I will be doing the team news for that soon. Won't be able to watch the game. It's streamed on BT, currently my local pub shut, but I will glance at the highlights and see what happens, and whatever happens in the game, it'll be interesting to see what Mourinho says in his conference after the game. But he's admitted, Mourinho, there's not enough pressing in the team. There's not enough heart. There's not enough desire. There's not enough intensity, and this is what Mourinho had admitted at the weekend against Crystal Palace. But hopefully for me tonight, Martial starts. Martial probably starting. I hope Martial has a better game tonight. He was poor against Crystal Palace. Pogba plays tonight, which I presume he will, but I hope he has a better game than he did against Crystal Palace. So we are at home, but I think potentially Manchester United will definitely win this. Pogba scored two. I think it was against Young Boys away. Did he score twice in the 3-0 win away? And we had a great result. Last time out in the Champions League against Juventus. We had a great result. Great result that, no one expected us to go and win there because Juventus are a great side with top class players. They often seldom lose at the Allianz Stadium. Especially in the Champions League in the group stage. They hadn't lost there to an English opposition for 15 years at home in the group stage. Before Manchester United beat them, and they hadn't lost there, I think since 2009 in a group stage game at their current stadium, Juventus as well. So it was a great win. It gave us a glimpse of 1999. I thought it was similar to Man United Bayern Munich in 1999. Similar sort of game, Bayern were mostly on top in the 1999 game, but Juventus were mainly on top. So it was comparable. Juventus were on top against us, all over us. They were pressing us, and Ronaldo scored a great goal, but I credited Mourinho for bringing them 3 substitutions on in that game because obviously it changed the game around. So that was a massive win. Potentially the best result, that even though the performance wasn't good, it was potentially the best result for me, under Jose Mourinho especially. So basically that game, I thought it'd give us confidence going into the derby. We got absolutely annihilated in the derby, and then it's back to square one again, winning a bad run of form. Palace was atrocious at the weekend. So somehow, I don't see any confidence in the team, and I don't see Mourinho pushing us forward. So yeah, I think potentially we need to get a new manager in. Giggs has a different opinion. Everyone has a different opinion. Some people have patience, some people don't. But as I said, aside this club, we should be doing a lot better than we are doing. As I said, but we know talks are going ahead for January. Mourinho's linked with a lot of players. We know there's rumours about Pogba. I've updated you leaving, De Gea leaving. So yeah, we'll see what happens. So anyway, as I said, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. As I said, if you do consider subscribe, take it easy with all our videos coming up in an hour or so. So bye.